Hello, welcome to KMP Presents.
I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Portia.
Happy Monday!
Yes, happy Monday, everyone.
My health is failing me today.
I think we can relate to
Lord
that.
have mercy. We talking about the health, but Jesus fix it.
We trying to stay healthy as we can.
So what I'm learning about is that, so I think I shared on the last show, but if I didn't, or if you don't follow my blog, I found out after I had my son that I had hyperthyroidism, which means my thyroid is always
your thyroid is like right up in here,
and it
affects your hair, a lot of things,
everything, your hormones, everything.
I've had mine checked.
So I found out about that one, and I was like, okay. They were like, okay, just kind of change your diet, you'll be fine. I got my gallbladder removed in August. Right after that, I was having issues. My stomach was hurting all the time. I was gassy, bloated, I was miserable. And then I go back to the doctor and did another procedure and found out I had celiac disease. And I was like, bruh, look.
Just keep on throwing it at you.
I was like, throw the whole body away. But celiac.
Just take it away, Lord.
I'm done. I really was like, maybe I just need to get my gallbladder back because it just was not this
Is
bad.
Is that recyclable? Like, did y'all
Can I hold on to that for a little bit?
On freeze or something?
Because Lord, but that is
I feel like that's what messed you
like a gluten intolerance, which apparently a lot of people don't tolerate gluten. It's just not a good thing. But hey,
all these things are gluten free.
Yeah, so I do have to do like gluten free pasta, which is perfectly fine. It's no different. But just a lot of stuff has gluten, especially like all the box foods in the store. They pretty much all have gluten in it. So
pay attention to that stuff.
Trying to balance what to eat, what not to eat, when to eat. It's
how
just
much?
Yes, because I can't eat big meals. Like I can't eat like a big meal in one setting. I would literally just get stuffed. And I've had people literally, like, one of my classmates asked me one night, she's like, Kim, are you pregnant? That's how bloated I was. And I was like, no,
you don't ask me that.
I'm just bloated. But I don't get offended by it because I guess
I do.
I guess I'm just like, I get it. Because when you look at me, I look like I'm moving into my second trimester because I just get that bloated, and it's terrible. But I say all that to say this because I have been, again, stuff that I've shared previously, I've been diagnosed with different mental disorders, and that's what today's show is primarily about, is what's your mental like. And the reason why a lot of the things that I was diagnosed with tied into my thyroidism, even, the being irritable, having mood swings, things like that, they were all tied in to my thyroidism. And had I not found a competent doctor,
the one you have currently, right?
Exactly. To do the work, to run the test, I would not have known this. I'm one of those people where I'm pro take your medication if you were prescribed it, especially for your mental illness. But I was real leery about taking it because I was still breastfeeding. And I was like, no, I don't want to take it. And it's safe for breastfeeding. I don't believe that. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. Just no. So because I was not doing it, and because I had to still figure out like what was going on, it helped the doctor kind of put everything into perspective to say, okay, well, this is what's going on. Like, and she told me, she was like, I'm really glad you did not start taking medication because you wouldn't have been treating anything because it's not that. So also, you may have been misdiagnosed before with mental illnesses had you not had your thyroid checked. Again, thekimbers.com, because I share all of this and I share all the things that I've used and that I've taken. I'm pro acupuncture. I am pro change.
Needles, right? Mm-hmm. We got that one time, remember?
Oh yeah, the mommy thing that Mama Summer did.
I didn't like it.
It did. I think she was doing it wrong because she made us bleed. Or she made me bleed. And I've done acupuncture.
I don't think I ever do
it regularly. Like every week I do it. I've never bled once.
No,
I think she just didn't know she was fresh out of school.
Well, she shouldn't have been there.
Nah, they should have.
Because it was a relaxing setting. It was dark. It was calming. And I was ready, but it was so uncomfortable. So I was like, no. But on your thyroid thing, did you get multiple opinions before you actually found out what the root cause was? What it was?
I've got diagnosed in my lifetime by 4 different psychiatrists, and the only one that has stuck consistently has been PTSD.
That's what I'm saying.
As well as
what? Okay.
Oh, just You just go to psychiatrist. They tell you what's going on.
Okay.
So the one that I had the very last time was like, it was postpartum depression, which was, for me, it was more obvious because I had it with Peyton, but it was postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety. But all of that is situational. So it doesn't mean that I'm depressed or I'm, like that. It was figuring out how to do it. And prior to that, I had been diagnosed with like major depressive disorder. I got diagnosed with bipolar. And I was like,
really?
Bro, y'all doing the most. I'm like, bipolar. And it was so funny because when I went to another doctor, they were like, that's the, what are they calling in the meet? That's the buzzword. They were like, everyone is being diagnosed with bipolarism. And I was
you
like,
diagnose people like that on your own every day.
Yeah, but I was like, but they told me that. I was like, I told the psychiatrist, I was like, no, I don't think you're right about that one.
Multiple personalities, right?
Well, it's just like major, and it's not. But we gonna let Robin do it because I know that's her specialty.
I be calling people bipolar.
I don't do that. I don't call anybody any kind of name like that because I've learned to be sensitive because there are people that actually do have it, and it does make them more uncomfortable because you if you're using it too loosely, it takes away from what people that are truly going through it, how they feel. But then I went and got another psychiatrist, and she was like, no, I would not have died. I had a psychiatrist and 3 therapists, and they were like, I don't think you have bipolarism. I definitely think you have something going on with your postpartum.
That's why I asked, because it's really good to get like a second, third, sometimes
get multiple opinions because
some people just throw a diagnosis at you.
And she was like fresh out of school, so. And I talked to some other people that had her, and we all had the same like 3 diagnoses from her. So I was like, is that the only word she knows?
Yeah, all of you guys. You
that's a little concerning. But gratefully, like I said, I got multiple opinions. And whatever I deal with my mental health, whether it is bipolarism, whether it is whatever it is, I'm gonna deal with it. And I'm not gonna make it like, oh, I can't have that. That's bullshit stuff. Because you don't know what you can have. You don't know what's going on. And to be honest, a lot of us walk around here with multiple mental disorders that we don't get treated in the way that we're acting as humans. We think, oh, well, that's just how we are. No, baby, you need to go talk to somebody and get treated. That's what's wrong with a lot of people, especially in our community. It's a lot of erratic behavior. It's a lot of y'all just be doing the most sometimes. We be doing the most sometimes. And it's best when you go and talk to somebody because 9 times out of 10 your job probably covers it. You just don't know.
If you got insurance.
If you got insurance, if you don't, it's open enrollment also. Open enrollment starting November 1st. It goes until.
Is that what you was telling me?
It goes until December 15th, if I'm not mistaken. I'll double check the dates. If you're in Central Texas, you can dial 211 and be connected to an enrollment specialist to get the information, to learn what is the best policy or plan for you. Talk to someone because you do insurance is beneficial. It's cheaper than paying out of pocket for the most part, but we also have a lot of local things. I was listening to KZI 88.7 the other morning, and they had the president, I believe, of the community care. They have
the clinic.
No, community care is a whole broad thing because they have insurance. So like
for people who don't have jobs and need
or low income, so you do community care. They have MAP, medical assistance program. I do apologize because I'm supposed to do this research and I'm gonna have it soon, and I'll share it on our page. There's also insurance for Bastrop County and Williamson County for low income. Utilize it. You don't have to pay for it monthly. You don't have to pay for it when you go to the doctor. And
that's good.
They can tell you where to go. Like they can give you referrals to different places. So if you're dealing with things, whether it's chronic or temporary, talk to someone because they can help you.
See, I feel like when you get that, what is it, inexpensive insurance or government funded insurance, you don't get the best care at times that you're supposed to get. I guess depending on the physician or the doctor that you're going to, but I just feel like they don't give you the proper care that you're supposed to have.
I can see
because I've been on like Medicaid and stuff when I first moved back to Texas, and I just don't feel like I got the proper treatment that I needed when I was pregnant and all of that stuff. Initially, I found it with Dr. McCoy, but I don't know. I feel like because they know you're not paying for it, you're paying minimal, value for it, you're not getting the best care. but that's just what I've experienced, and I've also had in conversations.
That's
good. I asked you how I could get it, but
I only get it for pregnancy. After pregnancy, it goes away. But that's another.
Keep it when the babies come.
It ends 6 weeks after that.
Oh.
Because I have primary insurance, but this is something that they also are trying to actually do, especially Medicaid. They're trying to continue the care for parents, because they only keep it for 6 weeks after you have the baby. Then after that, you're dropped. And if
for
you
the parents,
for the parent, kids. But the kid keeps it for the first year of their lives, I believe.
Right. Okay.
So after that 6 weeks, you essentially are back to what if you do have postpartum depression and anxiety? Who are you going to talk to? Granted, there are a lot of, or few, at least that I know of, groups you can go and you can kind of talk to. Like we talked to
Mama Sana.
Mama Sana Vibrant Woman has an amazing, dope, free postpartum group, and it's amazing. It's please utilize it if you have to, if you can. I have insurance,
other cities and states, they have groups like that as well.
I still went, and I recommend other people to go because it didn't do anything but help me.
Yeah.
But I think that is in Black Mamas ATX. They do Sister Circle once a month on Sunday.
What is Sister Circle?
It's where you come if you're pregnant or your baby was in the first year of their lives. And I think they may extend it out depending on your situation. But you come together and you just talk to other mamas.
It's just the women, or you bring the kids along?
Yeah, you bring the kids. They have free child care.
Oh,
so
nice.
They have snacks.
Oh,
so
gotta go for the snacks.
So it's kind of it's there for us, y'all. And I know a lot of it is just that we don't know. I do a lot of research because, like I said, when I realized just how serious the mental health issues are, I didn't want to feel that way. I don't like being in the dark place. That's why I call it. It's the dark place. And even when I start to feel myself getting there, I'll do what I can to pull myself back. So if I got to go to therapy, I'm going to therapy. I got to go to counseling, I'm going to counseling. If I got to take medication, I'm going to take medication. I'm going to do what's necessary because...
Right. You're proactive.
I try to be. I try to be more proactive than reactive. Exactly. And then I have kids watching me now. Yeah. And I've spazzed out before. I've shared this in my blog. In my blog. I've spazzed out before at Peyton. And Damon was the one that was like, Kimberly, like, he had to kind of reel me back in. And I was like, oh my God. It's happening. It's happening again.
But at least you're able to recognize it, acknowledge it, and try to change it versus like staying in that place and putting that energy on your kids and stuff.
Absolutely.
Because we both had conversations about like, oh girl, I just went off on Mac and I feel so bad. I didn't mean to.
Ooh, that mommy
you be like, baby, come here, just give me a hug. I'm sorry. I'm frustrated, especially me dealing with 22 kids all day. Like I'd be frustrated. Like at this moment, I'm stressed. Like. Work is stressful, so I don't want that to bounce off onto my child. But
what do they do
at times,
do y'all have like support groups for the things that y'all?
No, you would think
that.
so,
we
right?
We need to implement something.
No,
like
we
that.
have each other. Happy hour, okay, and we go and converse and get it off our chest over drinks. That's how we get it done.
But that's
or I just go home and try to decompress, but it's just hard to decompress
because you got a child.
When you have a child and you're a single mom, so it's all on you to like. Get it done, and then around 10 o'clock you trying to
go to sleep.
Get it together, but you sleepy. It's time to go to bed. So I feel you when it comes to like pushing that energy on your kids, or even like for me pushing on my mom and not really trying to do it, but it's just something that just happens because you're frustrated and you got so many things going on. So I can only imagine with dealing with like everyday stuff, then depression, and then you know your children and all of that, like that could take a toll on somebody. So but yeah,
but be mindful of the child. Like when y'all feel yourself, I cannot stress this enough.
Breathe. Like I tell Mike, breathe, take a step back. It's like, mommy, I need to breathe.
Yes.
Like,
but that's good that you're putting that in him at an early age.
Take a break. He got that whole system with his teacher too. Like
I need to breathe. Yoga.
They need to do that.
They do yoga.
Like a mind, spirit, just moment to just calm down, especially for like younger ages, because you're so full of energy and stuff. And I think somewhere in Asia, like the kids do meditation every morning for like 30 minutes. And they know the routines and everything. And I think that's very, very good for them to like balance out their energy levels and calm themselves, because kids can get very wacky, and, you know, just bringing it and centering in your energy before moving on to like your day. And I think that should be implemented everywhere.
Again, be proactive versus reactive, because as soon as the child spazzes out, or
it's hard to bring them back to their place.
Oh, ISS. referral, principal.
Because you don't know how to approach those kind of behaviors. Yeah. Most people. So you go right to disciplinary actions and things versus like meeting the child where they are, or meeting the person where they are, not just kids, just people in general, meeting them where they are, getting a level of understanding and working through the problem with them, not throwing solutions at them, but finding out what will work for them in order to get them to a place where they feel like they can push through whatever issues they have. At least that's what I've learned from working with kids. But we are really excited for our guest. This will be my first time meeting her, but me and Kim are always excited to talk about therapy, to talk to therapists, and just mental health and wellness. So we're really excited to have her on. Kim, where did you...
We met actually in like a
she know all
group.
The people.
We met in a well, actually because she's a part of Black Mamas ATX as well.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
So that was dope because we both were kind of like bouncing off each other, and having that, because again, like, I'm optimistic, but I have my moments. I'm not perfect, and sometimes I'm just like, I need to talk to somebody who understands what I'm going through.
Meet you where you are.
I love him. I think he's phenomenal. Damon is just he's a great father, but sometimes I need another woman that is a mother of a baby or a small child to be like, am I losing my mind? And they say, no, girl, I feel the same way. Oh, okay, good.
It's normal.
That's all I need. I need that. And I was able to establish that with Robin, and we kept in contact afterwards. You know, it was still just like,
you keep in contact with everybody.
I actually met a friend today. I did. I met a friend today. Her name is Marianne. Hi, Marianne.
Good job. You remember her name, because we'd be like,
hey baby.
Hey, boo. It is so good to see you, girl.
Terrible.
Look, and we'll do it while we together and be like, hey girl. You'd be like, you didn't even.
That was who was.
I don't know.
I go to Facebook quick and look up somebody.
Like, oh, that was so and so. That was next time.
But yeah, she's dope. Just like I said, and then she's very mindful. Like she would message me and be like, hey, how we doing? Are we,
she
let's
holds
check.
You accountable.
She did. Let's check in where we at. And I'm like, thank you, because I'm an accountability partner for almost everybody. But I rarely have anybody making sure that I'm accountable. Yeah. I say this you're not, but because you definitely don't mind. But so to have somebody else kind of take that position, it was like,
okay, sis.
You already know, okay, sis. Yes. But it was dope, and like even like sharing some of the stuff, because when I was going through the testing with the thyroidism, that's when me and her had linked up. So me and her, I talked to her about it. I was like, make sure they check you, and because that's something they won't tell you.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what my thyroid was. First of all, I thought these were all adenoids or something. I don't know. And then not only that, but to know that controlled pretty much everything that I was dealing with. Y'all, my hair was falling out. And it's just now getting to the place to where it's starting. There we go. Shout out Vanessa.
It looks so good.
Shout out April. Shout out the people that have braided my hair and that I could trust. And CC, shout out CC. People that I could trust to express what I was going through, because when you're pregnant, your hair grow. You have a baby, you just grow. With Peyton,
sometimes
my hair grew. It was like, I mean, all around here. Y'all talk about edges were thin and hair, everything was just thin. And I was like, I'm finna just cut it all off. Because y'all know I'm quick to cut all my hair off in a minute. And with my doctor checking it, she pretty much told me, she was like, this thyroidism is very impactful. It was another lady I met, and she even told me, like, with her thyroidism, that she had because it's Graves' disease. So I have Graves' disease. And with her, she had caught hers too late. Like, her eyes started to bulge.
Really?
Yeah, that's a big thing. Like, your eyes get really big, they start to bulge. She literally didn't have any hair, like in her crown. And I'm sitting here like, and they told her like,
that's her thyroid.
They told her if she had waited another 2 weeks, she would have been dead.
Oh my God!
Because it enlarges, and it can suffocate you.
Your thyroid enlarges,
and you can die. It's serious. It's definitely not something to take lightly.
What is it called? A sonogram. Is that what it is? Not a sonogram. Is it X-ray on my thyroid? It was a while ago, like when I first moved back.
Mine was just blood. I just did blood. I don't think we did it.
Mine was for my alopecia and stuff. So, but
I
didn't know it did all that.
Yeah. It can ruin you. And that's
guys,
why you
get checked. Make sure you're okay.
And if you don't have the money, there's so many clinics. This is Austin. Well, to any people that's not in Austin, I'm pretty sure y'all can. I know y'all know how to use Google because y'all on Facebook right now watching us. I know you can use Google. Google and look for affordable cost clinics.
Yeah.
Take your health seriously because
this. Go to specialists too, not just to a general doctor.
That part.
Specific things that you are dealing with, so that you can get to the core of what might be going on with you. So, especially if you have insurance, you definitely can look into specialty doctors and things like that. Just through a list of what is it like, the inpatient, outpatient like providers and stuff. So there's ways to figure it out. Because I want to go to an allergist to see what allergies I may have, and then I need to take a stress test because my stress level is like up here.
That has a lot to do with how we live in our daily lives, how we function when our stress levels are high.
Yeah, I need a stress test because my chest is always hurting.
Well, you make sure ain't nothing wrong with that chest because that makes me nervous.
I know, yeah. I got a doctor's appointment coming up this week.
Yeah, she
does. I'm good.
And I'm making sure she goes. Accountability.
Yep. Boom.
I actually told her to make the appointment. I'm like, you can call the doctor.
I mean, I made it way last month. She's booked and busy. She's a black doctor, too. I can't wait.
Who is it? Who is this?
Dr. Barry Roberts. I found her on Facebook, too, by recommendation from one of the black business group pages or something.
Facebook.
We always ask recommendations for pediatricians and different things like that. So I found Dr. Barry Roberts on Facebook, and she's been amazing, and she's very, very knowledgeable, and she asks all the right questions, and she holds you accountable as well. So yeah, I can't wait to go see her again because it makes me feel like I'm going to somebody who knows what they're talking about, and then for us to be both women of color, she knows what could possibly happen later on in the future with my health depending on what's going on. So I really like that I found her, and she's really great. So
I love that. That's another thing I wanted to throw out there, y'all. Doctors work for us. It's not the other way around.
She tell me that all the time.
It's not. They get paid from us. We pay them for their service. So if you have a doctor that's pushing you off, making you feel like what you're saying, not taking suggestions, bye. It's another doctor. Somebody else got their degree too when you got yours. And I will review. I bet I'm the review queen. My name on Yelp.
Pediatrician.
And I'm done with her.
And she reviewed her down
quickly. I'm done with her.
A new one.
Within moments. Now they go to Baylor Scott and White. But
I'm looking for
look and make sure, because y'all don't need to feel like when you go into the doctor that you're finna be treated wrong or that you're not gonna have. What am I here for? I'm not gonna sit here for you to play with me. You
want us to pay this deductible.
I gotta hit my deductible. I gotta pay
copay. You gonna tell me what I'm not here for just to talk small talk, and you just give me the basis of what you think I have based off what I'm telling you. I need you to dig deeper.
That's it. Do what I tell you to do, because you're my doctor.
Yeah. They've actually gotten better, the pediatrician.
I wouldn't know.
I know, but she's gotten better. And I told her, we had a conversation kind of about, it's like my sister. She's like, oh, yeah. She couldn't say too much because of HIPAA, but.
No, she know how I feel about her. I let her know.
I know.
I really don't play with my kids.
Of course not.
These are my babies. And I actually, when I talked to my cousin, Tori, she even told me a few times that, she had her kids go to a certain pediatrician, and she noticed that her children weren't being treated as the same, because she nannies. So the nanny, when she took the kids that she nannies to the pediatrician, they were fantastic, observant. To her kids, it was another story. So she ended up moving her children to specialists in San Antonio. And that's kind of what I thought. I was like, if I have to drive to another city just to get adequate and quality care, what does that really say about the doctors here?
I'm actually going to be going to Houston for an evaluation for my alopecia, and it's because nobody here in Austin is just and Cece is the one who recommended it.
Really?
Yeah,
she's dope. When I tell you she's dope,
and it's another older lady that works with her that specializes in that type of hair issues or whatever. She's the one who did the research. She was going to send me to somebody else in Houston, but they retired maybe a few months ago. But she was like, they would have really helped. But instead, they went back to that doctor to get a referral of who he would recommend that would be great to help out with me. So she was like, I got you in, and just contact them. They're looking forward to hearing from you and whatever. So I was like, wow, like you just met me and you really trying to.
You thought I was playing when I said like. I told her about Creative Styles, Cece. If y'all look on my page, she's the one that did my baby sound when she had her first little hairstyle. And it was dope to be around knowledgeable, what do they call themselves? Hairstylists, beauticians, whatever the name is. Because a lot of y'all don't, I'm just saying, they don't know what they're doing. We're just knowledgeable. A lot of y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all just glue hair in. Going on with your day.
Well, yeah. Well, some I've experienced some, but that was a long time ago. But yeah,
I'm glad that she's helping.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am too.
Like I really like the older lady as well. But off the sentimental stuff. Let's go ahead and bring on the lovely.
We're gonna take a minute.
Yes.
We're gonna get Robin set up.
Yeah, give us just a minute. We'll be right back. Hold tight. Hi, welcome back. This is KMP Presents.
I'm Kim.
And I'm Portia, and we have the lovely
Robin.
Yes, Robin. Robin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? We're excited to have her on tonight.
Well, I'm a mom of one. She's 11 months, so I'm a new mommy. Yes.
Congratulations.
Got a wonderful husband, originally from Indiana, and came here by way of the military.
Okay.
Been in Texas for about 10 years, almost.
Oh, you're a Texan.
Yeah, you're a Texan now.
Basically.
Yeah.
In Austin?
No, I was in San Antonio for 5 years, and then I've been here for the last 4. So
okay.
almost,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
What led you to your field? Because you do a couple of specialties that I know can help a lot of people. You're also a veteran. Well, no, not a veteran, because are you active duty still? No? Oh, praise God. Thank you, Jesus.
National Guard, 1 week in a month. Yes.
Oh, you still do that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I'm in
So
San
reserves.
Antonio. Yeah, National Guard. It's a difference.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reserves.
One of my friends in Dallas was in National Guard, so it's not the same thing. It's a lot easier, right? I mean, you still have the basic training though at the beginning.
It's all the same training, and it's all the same things that the reserves do. It used to be National Guard used to be the state, but it's all the same. So, but it's different.
Because I had considered it in college.
Oh, yeah, that's where I got involved with it. The ROTC.
That's where they go. They try to get all the college students. That's where they target us.
I never want to get involved in it.
Well, actually,
I wanted that money and them to pay my college, so I took the oath and everything and didn't get shit though.
They paid all of my college.
See, that's what I needed. That's why I'm in debt.
I still got credits.
College students, are y'all listening to this?
I still got credits from the Hazelwood Act.
You better get it.
Yeah. So, actually, that was what led me to my field of social work.
Really?
Yeah. So, in undergrad, I changed my major a couple times, maybe about 5 or 6. And then I joined the military and took one of those general electives, psychology. And so I thought I wanted to be a licensed marriage family therapist.
Okay.
And I did ROTC, and I figured out that the field that I wanted to go into, the military really doesn't accept like those licenses. They only accept social workers.
Okay.
Yeah, so actually probably back in 2010, I started my journey to become a social worker, and I finally enrolled in a master's program in like 2012 and finished in 2016. Took me a long time. It was a deployment in between, so it wasn't.
She wasn't just taking breaks.
No,
she was
wasn't
busy.
I wasn't. So yeah, that's what led me to my field, and I currently work with veterans and their family members, but after being in the military for a long time, I feel like I served my veterans, and I like doing community work, and so I want a more variety of clientele. So yeah, especially serving people of color, people who look like me,
because we need it.
Yes, they do. And we need good therapists out there, that are trauma informed, that incorporate our culture, our history of oppression. So that's one of my passions. That's what I want to do.
I love that. That's amazing. We need more people like you.
And you've been doing it for 3 years now, right?
Yes. I've been I've been a therapist for 3 years. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So what has been your toughest moments with being a therapist? Like, because social work is one thing, and I know social work is hard.
That is.
Like, just thinking about the social workers that I've worked with in my field of education, it's a lot to take on. It's a heavy role. So I know that's one thing, but then becoming a therapist, transition into that, like.
Well, believe it or not, because like it's like passion work. It's like what you are like drawn to.
Big word.
Like my clients aren't like. I have some hard clients, some very difficult clients, but my clients aren't the ones that like have been the struggle, along the social work. So it's been a lot of systemic things that's been going on in the social work field. It's like if you go to when I first got started, you go to a conference, and there'll be a whole room, a banquet hall full of older white women. And so it's been very difficult to just find your place. Like, you get a lot of imposter syndrome going on. You don't think that you deserve to be there. When you can identify with most people in the system, yourself, but you still like have trouble with the overall like systems, the things that's been in place for years and years, and so it's really hard to change that. Yeah. So that's been the hardest.
I'm one of these people. I don't feel like we need to break through into their world, where we can really create our own and welcome in the people that we feel need to be there. Because, and I get where you're coming from, because I'm a black woman in tech, so it's not like everybody who's going, but
it's like 2%, I think.
I think. 2%. I think. So it's like you are surrounded by a lot of people that look the exact opposite of you. And I'm friendly, I speak to everybody, but I go for what I know, and I try to grow from me. And, things are going to happen with other people, and that's great and fine, but like I focus on me, focus on what I can bring to other people. I focus on helping people that look like me, because we have to be the ones to pull our people up, because other people won't do it. They have that syndrome called that kind of master syndrome, where like it's almost like, oh, we'll help you because you're the cute little black girl that needs help, and we're helpful, and we really did it. And it's like, did you do it because you wanted to help, or what? But yeah, that's another story. Savior, there it is.
I didn't want to put the other word there, but
saviors. Well, I mean, I have been able to do something breakthrough. Like, I have some colleagues that I've been working with since my master's program for the last 4 years, and so we had some mentors in the community that's been doing this a long time, people who look like me that's been in the social work field, and we were able to create in the longest NASW, we were able to create an equity committee called Race, Equity, Accountability, and Leadership. And so it's basically called REAL.
I was trying to do it. I was like, race and big. I was doing it in my head.
It's long, but we've been able to, educate, not being it's not our responsibility as Black people to educate white people on racism. They created it.
They need to know.
They created it though, so they are on their own experts. But we partner with allies that can talk to their people, and we talk to our people, and we share our experiences. This is the work that I chose to do. So I don't in certain spaces I don't feel like I'm educating them about certain things. But if I don't do it, or if other people I work with don't do it, it won't be done.
That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: when you got into the field, did you have any fears? Like, was there anything? Because I personally asked any therapist that I've ever sat with, I asked them, like, hey, have y'all ever been to therapy? Have y'all ever done it? Because I want to make sure that me and you guys got
some relative.
Yeah, and my current therapist, she straight up told me, she was like, I go to therapy twice a week. She was like,
that's the norm, because that's what my therapist was trying, like, twice a week, and that's expensive. I was doing it for about 2 months. I was like, you know what? I can't keep coming twice a week. That's like $100 a week. I was like, I can't. It was great though. Like, she opened up a lot of things that I didn't even really put in perspective or even think about. But $50 a week.
I hit my deductible, so when I go, it's free for me right now.
Yeah, no, it was $35 per session, so that's $70 a week. And it was too much. But it was worth it.
Time,
yes, I had to get a sitter and all that.
See,
is very good It's a very good investment, but once again, like, can you afford it?
It's all about allocating.
But I empathize with you.
Thank you.
As a therapist myself, sometimes I do have hard times, like when I try to encourage people to come do that twice a week counseling. They got things going on with their life, and I would hate for like counseling to be to make their situation worse. That's not what the purpose is.
Right. It's definitely helpful.
But to answer your question, social work was a second career for me. Right. Let me tell you, it's kind of like a cop out. So, like I said, I wanted to be an LMFT. At the time when I did make that decision, I was married, y'all. It was my first husband. And I also wanted to get like a dual bachelor's. I wanted to get like a master in divinity. I wanted to be like a preacher with my first lady, and counsel people with my husband. But guess what? I got divorced.
That's the best of us, not me. But look, are you pumping it up for divorce? Pump it up.
So I didn't really feel like I could be that one to help somebody along the way. I was like, I know what not to do, but do I know at this time of my life? I was only 24. Well, 24 when I got divorced. 24, 25. So I was overzealous. I knew what not to do. So I was like, okay. When they told me that I could still be a therapist as a counselor, as a social worker, I was like, cool, that's me. I got this.
I got that.
I could do that. And I've only taken on 2 couples throughout my internship and after postgraduate, and both of those ended in divorce. But so
don't put that on yourself though. That is not your fault.
I'm just
for real. They just trying to really push it and force it.
Maybe that was like their last resort. But
it normally is. I know my therapists don't feel that way.
But I just haven't taken on couples since. Like those last 2 times. Nope.
I
ended up doing couples with family counseling because I work with a lot of kids, and then I have to meet with the parents, and then the parents usually why the kids are there because the parents are going through some things, and then you have to like make a safe room, and then play referee. So I do have to do it sometimes, but they've already made a decision. They focus on the kids, so I don't have to feel as guilty.
Gotcha.
And you shouldn't feel guilty for the 2 divorced couples. That has nothing to do with you. You was just a therapist. But it's a great
you for your validation.
Yes.
But I said there's another reason why I chose my field. Well, it's just because like I learned about social work. And I just realized that there's so much, it's so vast, there's so much things that you can do. Like you can work as a project, a program manager, you can like run for, you could be in politics, you can do so much other stuff, and I like all facets, and I chose to be a therapist because I feel like you have to like know the people that you work with, know the people that you represent to be able to represent them. Because like so many people that's high up there in politics, they just forget the real issues that's going on.
So many. You mean all the people up there?
I can't speak for all
3 of them.
But yeah, they don't know the real issues, and so I just feel that being a therapist, I get to kind of validate my clients' concerns, that people of color, and they feel a certain way in the workplace, they feel a certain way in spaces that they are in their life, and I'm just like, yeah, that you right, you have a reason to feel that way. No, you're not just making this up in your head. This is unfortunately, this is still what happens.
We need that. Y'all don't even understand how much that
So just to backtrack what you were stating about like the couples and their divorces and stuff, it was a good segue into like one of my questions, which was, do you believe that premarital counseling is effective when it comes to...
Absolutely.
You do?
Yes.
And
but do it with somebody who is licensed. You can do it with a pastor and stuff like that. But, there are pastors like I wanted to be that are licensed marriage family therapists, or that have some experience in like a type of like marriage training, because my first marriage, I called myself getting married premarital counseling,
You did?
And I did.
You did premarital counseling as well?
We did everything right, we did everything right. We was in the church, no kissing, none of that stuff.
Yeah, because I know that's a part of it. No sex, no like physical touch.
Yeah, but I did, and it still didn't work out. So
that's what I'm saying. Is it really effective? Like,
no, it is. So the second time with my husband,
because I ain't never been married, engaged. I'm just curious.
But my husband now, who is wonderful, Joshua Johnson, boo. I hope you listening.
Shout out Joshua.
Shout out Josh.
He at home with the baby. He at home with the baby.
Superman.
So the second time I went with him, it was very effective. Like communication skills, getting on the same
communication
page with finances, like
money,
expectations of what we want, or
standards.
just going into not having any expectations. Understanding that we both want children.
And that counselor opens that up. The
it was a counselor.
Opens all that up.
Some real deep.
It was in a group too. We did a group. It was a
and
group
then
counselor,
and then private sessions with just you and him as well. Yeah. Well, that's good, because those are a lot of questions that aren't really asked between the two people all the time. Sometimes certain questions are asked, and then others are like swept under the rug because you don't want to push the person's buttons or tap on a sensitive topic, or just trigger a person, or So,
and I think the reason why I went to somebody's license, because I'm a therapist, and I was just
think it makes sense too to go to a license.
You need somebody with some education,
because people be going to family members, and why would you do that?
I'm not doing that.
Why?
I don't think I have a family member that is married. Right?
Oh, so you asked me what my fear was. So my second fear, that's what it was. Okay, this is important, y'all, because I'm a person with lived experience. Y'all know what that means?
No,
please. Break it down.
So that's just a professional way of saying that you've been diagnosed yourself, or somebody in your family that you're close to been diagnosed with a mental illness. Okay, and so I've been just like you, Kim. I've been diagnosed with a whole lot of alphabets, and that was it's a insecurity of mine sometimes. But then I realized that I've done my own work. You don't need, like, if you're a therapist, don't make your counseling sessions, about yourself or whatever. But you can use your own experience to kind of help the client along, like validation, like, yeah, what you experience is depression. It's not who you are. It's a symptom, so...
It's a symptom.
It's a symptom.
Yeah, I've never heard that. It's a symptom.
It's a symptom.
It's a symptom.
Like,
it's not
at
least,
least
you don't have to identify with being. That's kind of what
I just never heard it put in that.
But it takes it away from you. It takes it away from your identity, and then you can start like, this is temporary. I can get out of this. Or if you somebody that has a lifelong, journey of depression, one time I'm gonna use scripture, But, Paul said that, he had a thorn in his flesh, you know what I mean? And then, that was like my depression. This is like something that's always going to be there, but it always reminded me that, I need help. And so,
did y'all catch that?
Yeah.
I need to make sure y'all. Ooh, I need to make sure y'all caught that. We, as a society and as a culture, have
nobody's an island. You can't do it by yourself.
You can't. Yeah, like you need. I constantly say I hate people. I don't really.
She does.
But I
hear her say it a lot.
Because Homo sapiens annoy me. And one of the main reasons why is because you guys don't realize that there are people that will help you. That's literally what they're placed on earth for. Like that is their gift. That is what they are called to do, and they want to help you. But you have to really want it. And I think a lot of people that get those diagnoses, they center them sometimes. And it's hard. I'm not going to listen.
It's like your whole identity. It's like who you are.
Exactly.
You know? But it's not.
And it's because of the way people look at it. It makes you be like, oh man.
Because it's a stigma.
Right.
It's a stigma. It's a huge stigma in our community. You can't tell people you're depressed. What?
Like, oh girl, go pray about it. Go to church.
Or some of those other alphabets, PTSD. You said bipolar. Mm-hmm. She said it's one of the. What did you say it was?
What bipolar?
What bipolar was? What is your definition?
Oh, it's like you got multiple personalities, and it's like you got highs and lows. Like, you just on and off. It's like, oh my god, I'm so happy, and then
there's borderline personality disorder, which is completely different from bipolar disorder. Okay. So people sometimes, sorry, girl, just go educate.
No, look, I just use it, very freely versus like really,
I understand, and it's always on the media. It projects it as something negative. So you can have highs and lows. There's like I think there's up to 4 different types of bipolar disorders that you can have. But the most common ones are hypomania and hypermania, bipolar 1 and 2. And so you can have really highs where I'm feeling good. Woo, I'm getting this done. I'm so productive. I'm doing all this. And then those people, they crash, right? They crash.
Like a real low.
A real low.
Damn. Y'all made me feel low saying it like that.
It is though, because it's one of those things like when they.
It's like you're in a sunken, a real deep place.
That depression hits you. It hits you, makes it seem like it's like a part of your life, like it's like. Yeah, and then you have the bipolar 1, which is like hyper, where it can comes with different things like hyper, like religious, or just excessive spending. You can do that with 1 and 2, drug usage, but sometimes that's like those are negative coping skills. If you're not dealing with an issue, but like what you said. People like get misdiagnosed with bipolar disorder because it's commonly like it's just like in a lot of other mental illnesses, it's just like PTSD. It's like
post-traumatic stress.
Yeah, and I've been guilty of that.
I mean, being in the military, I would imagine you've probably.
Mine was just from life things.
Just life.
See, I'm an average person, so like a lot of people just think like, oh, that comes from like being in the military, seeing these traumatic things happen and all of these different events, and you come back and you have PTSD. And
like what happened?
And then that's usually who I know that I relate to who has it, because a lot of people I know that acknowledge that they have PTSD are people that are veterans or still in the military and things like that. I never really hear, people that have never been in the military acknowledge and say like, hey, I have PTSD or I've suffered from it in the past.
Yeah. So military or not, but people that I run into, they've had in the military and suffer from PTSD. They had some issues. They was broken before they joined the military. And
is
the
that
military.
A word or what?
It's controversial, because you have some people that go over and they, it's some stuff happened to them. But like what I do is there's this questionnaire. It's like goes over your childhood experiences, like everything that happened to you before you were 18. You it's called the Adverse Childhood Experience Questionnaire. Y'all should look it up because it's called ACEs questionnaire. But it was done in 1995 over a 2-year period, and then it was like followed up like long term, and this is like a series of 10 questions, and you answer yes or no, and you count up how many you answered yes to. And so if you get like, but the test, first of all, it was done on like 75% of white people, and they all was middle class and had an education, 75%. So imagine if they would have did it on somebody like us, right? You know, I'm sure their scores would reflect it higher, but the higher the score is on the questionnaire, the more likely you are to get like a health issues like hypertension, high blood pressure.
Really?
You're 700% more likely to be an alcoholic.
How many percent?
If you get over 4 on the questionnaire out of 10, you're 700% more likely to be an alcoholic. And if you get over 6 on the questionnaire, you're 3,000% more likely to, try or commit suicide.
Oh my! Wait. This is called the Adverse Child Questionnaire.
The Adverse Childhood Questionnaire.
Childhood.
And then it also comes with other issues. So like if you have hypertension, you have like lung cancer, brain, you have like all these other issues. Just imagine like diabetes. Just imagine how you're doing on the mental side. You have all these other things that you're battling with, you're grappling with because of what things happen to you as a child. And so these things follow you, and if you don't deal with it, there's some good things, because we as Black women, we are resilient.
Yes, ma'am.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so I call it, not just PTSD, but like post-traumatic stress syndrome, but also post-traumatic growth syndrome. So these aren't my words. Kermananti. I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave a link or something when I apply after this, some resources and stuff. But it's definitely trauma is definitely a big deal. And
it is.
Like a whole lot of people that get misdiagnosed with all these alphabetical stuff because of it,
or they ignore the trauma and never really acknowledge what they've been through, and get the necessary treatment and like.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Well, it can be cultural, but it could be just a defense mechanism. We develop at a young age, we develop these defense mechanisms that work for us to protect us while we were kids. Yeah. But when we become adults, we should have outgrown these things, and they are considered like unhealthy, so you need to learn some healthy coping skills instead of those defense mechanisms that you used when you was 5 years old. You can't hide in the closet as an adult. You can't just
drown yourself in alcohol because you don't want to face what's going on. You can't get high as Cootie Brown because you don't want to deal with it. Because regardless of how high or drunk or anything that you get, the issues are still there.
Right, going out every single day.
You literally have to deal with them because they don't go away.
But there's, but even there, you say, why do people do it? There are things that are outside of our control. Like when things happen to us, it's not, it ain't our fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then it's also like it could be a personal thing that happened to us. It could be institutional thing that happened to us.
I think that's a big thing.
It could be racialized, trauma that happened to us. I mean, like over the last 4 years, we see, Facebook has become so, popular, or social media. We can see like people like bleeding, on the ground or being beat
triggering.
up.
That's so triggering.
You need to check your mental. You need to protect your mental, protect your peace. I'm not saying, don't advocate, but sometimes that adds to the complex trauma that we are already experiencing. And so there's different types. There's so many different types of trauma that we need to be aware of. And I've named just a few, but I guess going to like safe places, having these conversations amongst people, safe people, could be helpful.
Right. So speaking about those traumas and just dealing like, especially with childhood traumas, leading up to like adulthood. Me and Kim have talked about it on several episodes and just in conversation about like Black men in therapy, because Black women or women of color are more prone to try to get the help that they need when it comes to seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist. But a lot of men in general, but more so with black men, they tend to try to deal with their issues on their own versus getting professional help. Because either they feel like they don't need it, or it's not going to help them, or
it minimizes.
They just don't want to. They just don't want to do it. So, what are your thoughts on that? And do you have any clients that are black men that actually hold themselves accountable and invest in getting therapy?
Yeah.
So that's 2-part question.
I do actually. They won't be blasting it on social media talking about I just came from my therapist.
You shouldn't, because that's a personal thing.
But we do.
Like,
we do.
Oh, the women, yes.
We do.
The women, they do.
Yeah. I'll let y'all know, but I'll tell you what my therapist's office is and send you to
Yeah.
You need to stop doing that. I keep telling you.
But
posting your location all the time.
I know, right?
I'll be gone by that time. I'll share it after I leave.
And she tagged me in it. But go ahead.
But yeah, I mean, I do see a lot of black men, quite a few, and it's real funny because I used to do intakes for the agency that I work for, and I would be on the phone talking to a black man. They'd be like, I tell them I'm a therapist. They'd be like, "Excuse me, but don't take this the wrong way, but are you African American?" I'll be like, yeah. They was like, well, is there any possibilities that I can take you, that you could assign me to you? I was like, well, not trying to sound awkward, but I mean, there's a lot of reasons why people of color, black men, don't go to therapy in general. It could be culturally, like it's not expected for men to talk about their feelings,
and their problems.
They're supposed
to just deal with it.
Yeah, there's not.
It makes them look like wimps. When I can't wait for us to remove that stigma right there, because let me tell you something.
Weak and stuff.
Talk to me, because if you don't talk to me, you're gonna let me assume. I have PTSD and anxiety. I assume the worst 99% of the time. So you better say something to me, because I'm like, you know what?
Maybe I got PTSD.
That's my defense mechanism. That is my defense mechanism.
That's how you protect yourself.
That is. It's 100% how I do it, and I've learned coping skills. But when dealing with others, it's always kind of one of those things where it's like everything goes out the window now. Now I'm like, okay, you know what?
They push your button, they make you go there.
And then it's like, let me collect myself and walk away, because I'm not. This isn't healthy. But this is why we need. This is, in my opinion, Kim, want our black men to be our leaders. I do. I think y'all are incredible. I think y'all make life so much easier.
That's a lot of pressure, though. That's the reason why they don't go to counseling. Because they think they're not being the leader.
With them being the leader, it also carries everything that they do onto us and onto our children. So if you're the ones that's going to therapy and you're the ones that's showing us the path, then it makes everybody around you look like, oh, okay, well that's not that bad. He went. Well, if he went, then I probably should go, because they deal with just as much, if not even more, childhood trauma than we do. So it's not talked about. It's not publicized. They go through. Men have a form of postpartum depression.
Yeah.
That you would never even know existed.
Postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety.
They have all of that, and they don't know that they're dealing with it because they don't have a safe space, or they don't feel like they have a safe space because.
Or they can't talk to anybody.
Exactly. Yeah. And that makes it harder, because then if we over here healing and getting all the way up here, and you're still here,
it's an imbalance.
It's like you almost can't even be equally yoked with them.
Right.
But then there's like, just like I work with a lot of parents, and the parents are the ones that need counseling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, but a lot of times they will put their children first before themselves. And I see that a lot with men too. Like they would be like, well, I can't really afford it right now because I gotta do this. I gotta
for my family. I
gotta do this for my family. I gotta be provider for my family. But I do see black men in therapy. I understand, empathize with them about it being hard. But there's a couple of like black therapists that I know, like Heath Muhammad. He posts a lot of stuff on Black Austin. Okay. Ulysses Moore. He's older guy. He's a therapist. There's quite a few black men that I know that are therapists, and I'll link them. I'll tag them too. Or
please do for our men. We want y'all to reach out.
Tell nobody if y'all want to go. You don't have to tell anybody. I'm just free
just
like that.
Do it.
But there ain't nobody that
for
relates.
yourself.
Like you
not
can't
for anybody.
And
else.
then too, like a lot of things that black men go through, you know, and if you a white woman or you a white man,
yeah, I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you. You can't.
I do
understand.
that with a doctor. Like that's how I found. I was like, I want the black woman in the office. She was like, oh, you talking about Miss Berry Roberts? Yes, I
don't even be ashamed to say it. I'm somebody black.
Yeah, no, you advocate for yourself.
But they have more issues within like spaces. Like they, you know, like people don't think
it's a vulnerable space when you're in that therapy session with somebody you don't know for one.
Doesn't
and then if
like
they're
you.
white and you not that sounded bad.
No, it's okay. No, but I know we honest.
So
like,
a lot of issues
it's
that
just
black
like
men
I wouldn't be
go
comfortable. You wouldn't understand.
Are about. I'm sorry, talking over you.
No, go ahead.
But a lot of things that black men go through is imposter syndrome or feeling like they don't fit in corporate America or wherever. And so if you got the world telling you this, and then the world looks like the people that's supposed to help you, you don't feel safe. You know, I wouldn't go to them either.
It's not a safe space.
You know? I can't even argue that. That's true.
Yeah,
that
so
makes a lot of sense.
I mean, I don't blame them either. So, but I do know some black therapists that are in Austin.
Give us that information.
And yeah, I'll share them with you
because it's hard.
I respect them.
Yeah.
I respect them. They real cool. We have the same values. We talk about systemic and institutional racism all the time. We talk about how it's like to be. You know, they've experienced trauma. They've experienced, you know, firsthand. You know, some
makes them more relatable.
It is. It does.
Go through that.
Yeah,
and it makes it more of a comfortable setting.
Yeah, and that's how I got over my fear of being insecure about having a mental illness myself and being insecure about being divorced. You know, because it makes you more relatable. Like, I'd be like, there's a, and I tell my clients all the time, there's a therapist Robin, and then it's like girl Robin, you know, and I have to I have to give them like a disclosure, you know. I was like, the therapist Robin would say this, you know, and I'll get all poised and I'll clutch my pearls sometimes, but then I'll be like, but the girl Robin would be like, you know, like no, he didn't.
Gonna swing.
As they assume we do with everything.
But you know, I'm a real person, and then sometimes, you know, I get protective of my clients, and I'll be like, yeah, and I gotta step back. I gotta step back though. I step back. I check myself.
That makes me, my therapist that I've had her on and off for 7-8 years, and so she has seen me through my marriage, through my pregnancies, through my divorce. She's seen all of what has happened, and so when I go to her, it's so much easier because she knows Kim.
The road
she knows Kim. She knows where I've been, where I'm going, and that to me, and she gives me that. Now, Kimberly. And I need that. Like, not Kimberly. Have you seen the little things on Facebook where they say, all right, so he called me, and then what did the therapist like, well, what do we say? And then my therapist is one of the people where if I say something stupid, she gon' and it's like, that's not good. That wasn't a good, not a good resolution. And I need that. That's one of the reasons why I think that more people should take into consideration who you pick to spend your time and money with, because when you do pick a therapist, you want to have somebody that, to me, that's relatable. I want somebody to look at me and look like me and explain to me something because they've been through it themselves, or they know somebody that's closer than them been through it and can give me that. It helps.
Right.
Yeah, part of my intake process is explaining like consent for treatment. Like, I'm not breaking your arm to be in this therapeutic relationship. What I do want to tell you is that your relationship with your therapist, this is me speaking to my client, your relationship with your therapist is one of the most important like aspects of your healing. And so if you don't have a good relationship with your therapist, give it about 3 or 4 sessions, because the first couple sessions you just kind of get to know them.
Awkward.
Yeah, give it a couple sessions though, give them the benefit of the doubt. But if you don't have a good relationship, you're like just go with your gut. You stop. You know, or you can go to another therapist. Don't just stop going to therapists because, oh Lord, I had a bad experience. This woman's crazy. This man's crazy. But that's really important. And sometimes you may not click with, everybody, and that's okay. Just get another therapist.
Is there a black therapy or black therapist network within the Austin area?
Yeah, we have an Austin Therapist of Color.
Really?
Yeah,
because just in Austin,
it's for clinicians. You have to be a therapist.
So I can't be
but it's just I'm asking for the purposes of people being able to find a therapist that works for them of color.
But that's because today too helps too.
Because it's very hard.
You can look at pictures.
And it's if they accept insurance, if you do have it. Psychologytoday.com.
Psychologytoday.com. It has the picture and it has their little about and what they stand for, what type of therapy, and then you can click.
It's people of color.
It's multiple.
It's everybody. But you can look. There's someone on our network, the Austin Therapists of Color, who just made an inclusivtherapy.com, and that's another platform that has people of color, that has all diversity. And when we say diversity, that means everything.
I love that.
But they're more prone. I joined it a couple weeks ago, but they have inclusive people who are inclusive to other people, to all races on there. Because you can get into I got into a real sticky situation with an older white social worker, and we spent 45 minutes of our therapy session with her, trying to she was just basically oh, so you think that if people voted for Trump, am I racist? What are you, being a veteran, why do you think it's okay to kneel for the flag? And
ask you all that?
Yes, I paid her. TRICARE was paying her.
I'm just trying to get a better
she was sitting on
right.
my couch.
Yeah.
I was like, are you doing this because of you trying to make me make you feel better? I'm your client. You shouldn't be doing this to me. This is wrong. So you will have some therapists that are clueless. Run.
Ooh, excuse me.
Run if they are, but So inclusive.
You said inclusivtherapy.com.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me just.
And then you said Austin Therapists of Color, so that's more so for the licensed.
Yeah,
therapist.
If you're a therapist, but a lot of us are on Black Austin, so you can just be I'm looking for a Black therapist.
That's literally where I look for pretty much everyone.
Okay, so friends, family,
yeah.
Black
if
Austin
y'all need if you need a therapist, you're looking for one, you're considering it, definitely need to go to Black Austin. Me and Kim, we're always on Black. Well, not always, maybe more so Kim. But when I do have a question, I do post it on there, and I get my answers. Multiple answers from multiple people for different things. When it comes to finding a doctor, just whatever you might need when it comes to finding a Black professional. People on there are definitely going to give you some insight and some help. So
it's called inclusivtherapist.com.
Therapist.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yes. And so it just got started maybe a month and a half ago. So but there's already people all over the world that are from diverse backgrounds. So it looks way different from Psychology Today, because I looked up Psychology Today and I put in my zip code, and there are a long list of other people.
Mm-hmm.
But
it has it in Spanish?
Yes, it's in Spanish, girl.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I had to go and look.
So her name was Melody Lee. She was the founder of it. I don't know her personally, but whenever she posts on Austin Therapists of Color, I'd be like, oh, I want to be like her. So, and then there's a couple of just there's a lot of wonderful therapists of color in Austin, and so it's not all lost. It's not. Yeah,
it's really not.
A lot of resources.
You just have to research, but it's out there. So definitely, thank you for that.
Yeah,
but
I may be taking new soon. So
yes,
taking new clients.
Yeah, soon. Yeah, I'm in a moment of transition. So, I have to give a disclaimer. So I am a licensed master social worker. I just finished my 3,000 hours. Thank God. I went up to the office and I did a shout outside the door when I turned in my packet. So it was a long journey, 3 years.
Jesus,
long term.
Yeah,
long
I don't
time.
think I'm ever going to school again. So congratulations to you.
Yes. I will be here shortly taking new clients. You can follow me on @RobinSpeaks.
And that's
Robin Face
Facebook.
Speaks.
Robin Face Speaks. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you. Robin Face Speaks on Facebook. That's the only social media site I'm on right now.
No Instagram.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. I have a 10-month-old, and I am 19 weeks pregnant today. So I'll be tired.
Yeah. One step at a time.
I know.
Take your time.
You know.
Oh, do you have a doula and all of that stuff?
Yeah, I had a doula first time. Oh yeah.
Wait, did you have a water birth, or did you have a normal
a normal birth? I wanted to be in the hospital just in case.
Oh,
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think that's so dope.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I could do it. But it looks.
But yeah, y'all mentioned Black Mamas.
KTX.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
It's called Black Mamas Community Collective, and they have free doula services.
Mm-hmm.
They have the sister circles once a month. They do have a therapist on staff, like she's a mental health sister doula, I guess. I think that's her official position title. But anyway, we just started our 501c3. I'm the secretary, so yeah.
Doing it all, honey.
I'm trying.
Is that where Africa is?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Africa, she's our full-time doula.
Yeah. Two of her daughters were my dancers last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
See how the community works, y'all?
Yeah.
We help y'all know each other around and around.
Yeah, and I just want to give, like, Kim, she said a lot of nice things about me, but when I met her at that group, and it wasn't just, like, women who had kids, it was women that was having trouble with kids, too. Having trouble was going through the infertility, the IVF. Yeah. So it was just, women of different stages. I don't think it was supposed to be a mama's group, but it just ended up becoming one. But yeah, like the things that I was experiencing, I had no idea. Like I had postpartum depression, but I think it started off with postpartum anxiety. Yeah.
They educated you on that?
Yeah. I got my thyroid checked after I did. I got all, and they tried to just give me one test. I was like, no, I need
to do. Yeah.
I was like, I need these 2 tests. I got insurance. Run me my test.
Give me all the tests, right?
My hair was falling out. I mean, yeah. It's just that it was rough. I mean, we are better right now.
So much better.
We look better. We used to show up in that group.
Woo,
like,
child. Woo. You be like, if I have
show
a
up what you
shirt,
feel like,
baby.
Oh my goodness.
Y'all look what you feel like.
She would put in way more effort than I would. I would literally come.
Well, I've saw you.
Because that was like,
that's the dark space.
That's the dark space. But I would put in more effort because like we had goals every day that we would do.
We did.
And I was just like, I'm gonna take a shower today.
Mom would be like, I'm gonna do my hair and brush my teeth.
Yes.
Like, that would be me. And if we accomplish those little goals,
yes, and I'm like,
listen, y'all, when I say the dark place is dark, that's why if you have a partner that understands you, it was just by you, baby.
Well, congratulations to the both of you women for being strong.
Your hair all nice.
It's grown back. The edges is thickening up.
Oh, shining. I got lashes.
Y'all smiling.
I saw lashes.
No, girl.
That's
Give
great.
it back. That's
It's
why
great that y'all can come together and uplift each other because I know a lot of women battle with that on their own. And I know that I kind of went through it on my own with the help of you, but it's great when you can have somebody to like be there and help you through those dark moments. And I'm referring to like postpartum, like that's no joke.
It is. I didn't know,
especially when you're a single mom and
the 4th trimester. I wasn't a single mom, but my husband was looking at me like I was crazy. But the 4th trimester, they told me about it. They was like, "Oh, wait till after you had a baby. You think this is something?" They didn't.
You said the 4th trimester.
Oh yeah, it's the 4th.
The first 3 trimesters after they had.
It's like you get another 6 weeks.
Oh yeah.
You got a 4th try, and then after that, the postpartum step, like the 6. You get another 6 weeks. That's when you talk about Medicaid. That's when it runs out, and that's when you need some insurance.
Really they setting you up. That's what they do.
You need some insurance to
They're
make
trying to put something in place for that, though. They're trying to put something to extend it out. Black mamas. Yeah,
we working on that.
They are the ones. They are the ones. They're working the legislators. Y'all see?
Yep.
So, Robin, before we end, because you are you having fun, huh?
Yeah. That happens when you come on this
show. Fun, laughter, good conversation.
I'm tired though.
Me too. I was yawning and I was trying to like cover it up.
I need to get into bed.
But before we wrap up things, like you're a therapist, you deal with a lot of other people's, problems and challenges and stuff. But for yourself, how do you get through your rough moments, being that you take on so much from your clients and stuff? Like, what is your self-care?
That's a very good question.
So I do have my own therapist. And then I have like someone I go to just like process the tough cases that I have. And so, yeah, that really helps a lot. Sometimes I walk out of a room and I talk to my client like, oh, have a nice day. And I talk to her, have a nice day. And then I walk next door to my therapist's office and I'd be like, you got a second? And then I just like kind of just lay it all out there.
That's what I'm saying.
I used to hold it in because I thought it was like a weakness of mine. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness, I should have known this by now. I should have did this. I should have did that. But just not realizing that it was just a tough case, and no therapist wouldn't have been able to do it without some level of consultation. And so I do that. I go to therapy for my own self, work on my own trauma, make sure I go, to, like, some people think that self-care is just taking a bath or getting your nails done.
We learned that too.
It's not that.
It's not, y'all.
It's not.
It's cute and fun. Don't get me wrong. It's necessary. We're not dismissing that, but it's not just that. It's
in addition to, like, first sometimes you don't even feel like taking a bath or getting your nails done. So, you got to do some extra things in between it to make sure that you can get to that level, which some people think that that's just normal. So, I have friends. I have a vet buddy that I talk to. She's a sister friend, talk to daily. She knows when I am in my moods. She will call me. She will show up at my door. She lives 2 hours away. If I don't answer, my mama will always threaten me to like answer this phone or I'm flying to Texas. So that my self-care is not isolating myself, making sure people know, check in with people, know that I'm okay. In addition to like spending time with my friends, spending time with my husband, spending time with my baby.
And you like doing hair?
Yeah, I like doing hair. So I like doing my hair. So like I like that's my self-care. I watch YouTube videos on how to do different styles and I'll show up with a new hairdo like every other week. So yeah.
That's a lot of us black girls.
Not me.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. I like to get my hair done. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, but I'm not doing my hair like that. I'm just saying, as black women, we change it.
Yeah, it gets changed
all the time.
I can see a whole new style.
Right. Did you see that video? It's like, oh, you want to see other people? And it was this girl like that. All these. Like, which one do you want? Keisha, Portia, yes. Which one do you want? If you want different women, date a black woman.
Yeah, but like simple things like, so I read sci-fi fantasy books.
Interesting.
Yes, so it's like a whole new world outside of real life. I need like no reality, like wolves, vampires, witches, stuff. I love it.
Unicorns. And
yes. So I be in my own little world. Just helps me, just chill. Mind numbing TV, something funny. Disney movies. Yeah, just kind of.
Disney
helps. Disney really helps.
It does.
I was watching Frozen before I got here.
I love Coco. Like Coco is so. It makes me so happy.
Princess and the Frog is my favorite.
Oh, we love Tiana.
I know.
Oh my God, we love Tiana.
Every time, like I be like.
Peyton takes her Tiana Barbie everywhere.
You go get that restaurant, girl.
It just got on Netflix. Like
it did.
We watch it faithfully. Keep it on there, Netflix. Don't take it off.
Thank you.
Netflix then came out with some new shows though, some good ones. Have y'all watched American Son?
I have.
I watched it last night.
I watched it last night too.
This was my expression at the end.
Husband and that police officer was pissing me off.
But did you catch all the different perspectives of it?
Yes.
From every perspective.
That's what was. If you have not watched American Son,
I ain't gonna give it away. Watch American Son.
If you love Scandal, your girl is on there, and she's doing a great
She did really
good job.
She did a great job. But there's some other ones. Somebody made a list of like black Netflix.
Raising Dion is good.
Yeah, there's a few of them that came out on the first.
I'll check it out. If I find it, y'all, I'll share it on our page.
Sparkle is on there.
Real sparkle, like old school sparkle, or the new one?
I like new school.
With Whitney.
Sparkle.
I like old school sparkle.
I don't know which sparkle it is, but I just saw a whole list. I was like, yes. Thanksgiving break, Netflix. Yes, it's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much, for
Robin.
coming out again,
Thank you.
Robin.
Did I
We
talk
really
too much?
appreciate it.
No.
Okay.
Girl, no.
They need this knowledge.
We need it.
This insight. So we really appreciate it. We're all about being healthy as we need to be. So it was all on you, and we appreciate all of your insight
Thank you.
on, being mentally stable and healthy. So that air fresheners.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you.
And once again, y'all can follow her on Facebook. Y'all heard her. She's going to be having open enrollment. Is that what you call it? Or open?
Like, I'm going to be
taking new clients. So be looking out on Facebook if you're looking for a black therapist. And she says she'll also be sharing some other information about those black male therapists also.
I have a vlog called Band-Aid Mama Chronicles. Because it's struggles. Band-Aid Mama Chronicles.
I like that.
Yeah, and my professional blog is Robin Face Speaks.
I like that, baby.
Okay.
I was struggling through my motherhood.
Look, who are you telling?
And
struggle is real.
I'm about to start. I guess like y'all, I gotta start a season 2 with new baby. So, but yeah, Band-Aid Mama Chronicles. Look it up.
Yes. Well, thank y'all for joining us tonight, this Monday night. We hope you have a great week. For those who are into that, go vote. Right?
Go vote and vote.
I knew she was gonna hype up.
To Prop 4 because they're trying to bring state taxes to Texas. I am not do not California my taxes. Y'all want to pay state taxes? Go move to California. I'm not paying no state taxes. Vote yes to Proposition 4.
Proposition 4.
Go vote
tomorrow.
Go vote.
5th.
All voting day.
The 5th, right?
Is today the 5th?
So.
It's tomorrow.
The 4th.
It's tomorrow. Okay, yeah. Tomorrow is vote day, y'all. For real. For real. Go vote.
Yeah. All right. Well, y'all have a great night. Be safe. Have a great week.
Good night.
Peace. This is KMP Presents.
You was so
Thank you.
You stayed up late with the baby too, honey.
Ooh, when?
Right now.
We're still on.
Oh.
Hey, y'all. I didn't decompress. Had a whole breathing moment.
I know. This time.
Yeah.
I know that baby tired.